Hi guys! I hope everybody can hear me okay. It's good to have you back. Man, we're already 550 people. That's crazy. Wow, cool. Good to have you here. We had a bit trouble with the link this time. For some reason there was a glitch in the app and I had to... Oh, you know what? I have more light. Let me put on the light. Oof, better. Yeah, there was a glitch in the app and we had to re-upload the link or reopen the stream, but now we're all here. So cool that there are so many people. Hi from everywhere around the world. What is that? Cool, cool, cool. Let me check the comments for a bit because it's so interesting to see. Argentina. Hey. 2 people from Argentina. Whoop. All right, cool. Let's get started. As I mentioned in the last stream, we went to Hamburg to go to a festival that was yesterday and was pretty good. We saw Peaches, which was the main reason why we traveled there. And we also saw another band called Gnucci. Was it Gnucci? Oh, hold on. We forgot to say hi to Lucy.
Oh, right.
Hey! Yeah, great concert. It was a pretty cool festival. If you're from Germany, you might know the Dockville Festival in Hamburg, which is super focused on art and handmade stuff and subculture and all that. So yeah, there was a Peaches fan. I can't repeat that. I can't repeat that now. Yeah, it was the Vogelball, exactly. Somebody mentioned. The festival is called Vogelball. The main thing is the Dockville Festival. If you have a chance to go there, check it out. It's really worth it. A lot of handmade stuff. Very cool. Right on. I think we could just jump into the first part of the live stream, which is always the behind the build section. So we'll talk about the video that I uploaded that day. The second part will be some updates from my side, and the third part is a recommendation. It's the former record of the week section. Now it's a bit more open, not only about music, but also other stuff that inspired me. So the record player cabinet. As I mentioned last week, it sounds super easy, and it is basically easy to build a box for your records to go in. You know, the only thing you have to do is measure the vinyl and then build a box for that. But of course you want to give it a bit more design and a bit more elegance than just a wooden box. So I decided to work with plywood because it's the easiest. It's straight. I had this high quality birch plywood. It's cabinet quality, we call it in Germany. It's beautiful to work with. The only thing I don't like is the edge. So you can see at the edge, you can see the lamination of the different. Oh, might be too bright. Can you see that? Yeah. You can see the different layers. And the cool thing about plywood, most of you will know this, but you have different layers, and the grain, it's always cross grain. So one layer, the grain goes in this direction. The next layer, it goes in that direction. And that way you don't have any movement at all in the plywood, which makes it perfect for making furniture or anything that is not supposed to move over time. So it's awesome to work with. It is quite expensive, especially the furniture grade plywood. And as I said, I don't like to see the edge. For some reason, although it is a quality factor, the more layers you have, the more expensive the plywood is. I just don't like it. So I decided for that reason, just for design reason, I want to cover that. But I also wanted to make the project a bit more interesting for me, just to be motivated to build it. Because, you know, building a box, you know, it wouldn't make a good video, and it's also a boring build, I think. So I wanted to have some aspects that make it a bit more interesting. So I decided to cover the edge with maple. With a piece of maple, and then I decided to have these little, I don't even know, you saw it in the video, there are these gaps. I think the light is a little bit too bright. How do I, oh, sorry, better, yeah. Which just makes it more complicated to cover the edge all the way with the maple. So, I mean, yeah, of course, that's design, but that's also for me to make the process more interesting and not so straightforward. So that's what I did. And I got a couple comments about that. And again, it's not necessary to do that, but I wanted to make an interesting video and I wanted to keep the process as interesting as possible, so that that's what I did. The next thing that I got a couple comments about is the stain that I used. What I like about stain, it's, there's a message. You can buy stain completely mixed in a bottle and it's ready to go. Or you can just buy the powder and mix it with hot water. By the way, this is not a product placement. This is just the stuff that I like to use. I got a couple comments about that as well. And it's quite cheap. I think it's about 2 or 3 euros. And it makes half a liter of stain, which will get you quite far. I don't think I even used all of it. Maybe I used a quarter liter for the complete project with the 2 boxes and the legs. So it's really, it gets you far for the price. I don't think you can beat that. And the cool thing about stain is that you can still see the grain through it. It doesn't cover the wood all the way. But that also leads to a couple complications. So you cannot use filler, which would have been perfect for the edge bending. Obviously, it's hard to be so precise that there's no gap at all. So what I did is I kept the maple a little bit thicker than the plywood. Oh, Jacko, whatever is here. Hey! I kept the maple a little bit proud. And then after the glue was dried, I came back with the hand plane and tried to get it as plain as possible. So to eliminate as much of a gap as I can. But if I would have used regular paint, I would have come back with filler and filled it up all the way, sanded it down, and then painted. That way it would have looked perfect. You wouldn't have seen the edge at all. With the stain thing, you cannot do that because stain will not stick to filler. So you have to be precise and make it work without using stain or glue. Glue is another thing. If you don't clean the wood all the way from the glue, the wood will not take the stain if there's glue leftovers. So you really have to watch that. And that's the challenge that I talked about before. It was just for me to practice, to be precise, and just to watch it and be as precise as I can with this project, which turned it from simply building a box to a pretty interesting and difficult project. And that's basically all I wanted. But if you just want to build a box for your records to stay in, then yeah, you can just build a box. You don't have to do all that stuff unless you want to make it more interesting. And it was the first time I used these bandy clamps. A lot of people commented about these as well. I had them for a while now, and I never really understood that they were actually that their purpose is exactly that, to do edge bending, and I didn't realize that. But they're perfect for this. I hope you can see this. They have this flexible thing and super sticky clamps, so you can really you can really push it down and it stays in place, and there's enough pressure for the what is that, bond to be, or there's enough pressure to glue it together without using staples. I did use staples in the video, but that was just for a time factor. We had to leave on Wednesday. I started Monday building the boxes with all the filming and planing down the maple. It was a tight build to get in Wednesday. So that's why I ended up using staples. If I had more time, I would have just let the glue dry. Yep. And I think that was it about the comments. Is there anything else about the cabinet? Any questions?
Yeah, how long, you just answered it. How long did it take?
Oh yeah, it took 3 days. I think it was exactly 200 clips that I had to edit. Usually my projects are between 180 and 250 individual clips that I record with my camera, import to the computer, and then edit down. Some projects are a bit more complicated, so I think the biggest project clip-wise was a bit more, about 300. Some projects are a bit quicker, like the champagne sprinkler, but usually I'm in the 200 area, which means setting up the camera, the light, the focus, all that 200 times, then building, going back to the camera 200 times. And that's just what makes the process very, very long. When I started, I always said it adds around 100% to the build time. So if you make a video of the build, it takes double the time. By now, I would even say it's 200% because I got more stuff to deal with. It's the sharing it on the different platforms, and then I don't know, talking to sponsors, of course. So yeah, it's pretty time consuming, but I think it's worth it. And we talked about it last week, that the whole pressure thing, and having the pressure to make a video every week is for me the best motivation to get stuff done, which is the next thing I want to talk about, is motivation in general. I think it will be different for everybody, but for me it is just good to have a super fixed schedule and knowing that people expect this from me. They expect a video on Sundays, and that for me is motivation enough to get something done. So again, to the edge bending, I wanted to build the record player cabinet for a long time now, but it was always boring. Like, I never really felt to do it because the project itself is a bit boring, you know, as I said, just building a box. So you need to figure out some stuff to keep the things interesting for yourself. In this case, making the project more complicated. But the whole weekly schedule thing, I think it's a little bit like running, although I'm not a runner, but that's what people tell me. Once you get into running on a regular basis, you kind of need to do it. And I think it's the same with working or making the videos, content creation, building in general, or finding ideas, even being creative. You do it so much and you do it on a regular basis that it gets easier and easier to come up with new ideas, to build up the motivation. It almost becomes a routine. So there's nothing magical about it. There's nothing magical about being inspired or being motivated. It's just, it's a routine, it's work, it's dealing with the pressure and trying to make it as interesting for yourself as you possibly can. How do you get the stain off your hands? You don't. You don't. I mean, it is better now, but I think it took me about 2 to 3 days to get it off, and I make that mistake every time. Every time I think, I should really get the gloves, but then I'm too excited because the moment when you apply the stain, it's so nice because the stain is so rich. It's just pure pigment, basically. I can never wait to get the gloves. I always get it all over my clothes, on my shoes. It's all over my workbench. But yeah, that's the thing with stain. Oh, also, I didn't say that, but you can get that in pretty much any color you want, and you can mix the colors. So sometimes, you know, walnut. If you get walnut, it's never the same color, and if you need to match a piece of walnut with stain, then you can add different stains, a little bit of black and brighter brown and darker brown until you have the perfect tone. So that's really nice. I'm a big fan of that. Yep. I think I never saw anybody else use the powdered stuff. I can really recommend it because it's just so cheap. Right on. We're fast today.
Yeah.
Oh, I have there was another thing I wanted to talk about. I got the comment about the Triton track saw, and that's a pretty good point. Somebody asked what would I recommend, the Festool track saw that I've been using before Triton was my sponsor, or the Triton track saw. And obviously you cannot really, you cannot compare these. The Festool is, I think it's a 600 euro saw. The Triton is around 200 euros, roundabout. So obviously it's a different ballpark. Do you say that? Probably. It's a different category. The Triton track saw definitely gets the job done. I work with it just fine. The Festool is a very, very well designed and super nice balanced. It's a very luxury machine, and of course it's better. Of course it's nicer to work with, for sure. But it is what it is. The Triton saw, for example, it takes a lot longer for it to have the final speed. It takes a lot longer. The Festool saw is right there. You push the button and it's on and you're ready to go. The Triton saw takes a couple seconds until it is at full speed. Yeah, I mean, these things, obviously, when I worked with it for the first time, was like, you know, the Festool is better. Yeah, for sure, the Festool is better. There's no way to, there's no way around it. But the Triton works, and that's it. It's just, I'm very spoiled because when I started building my shop, I said like I will only buy the machines. I will buy my last machine first. Basically, it was my mentality, and I think that is a very, very good mentality. Now that that building is my business and content creation is my business. Oh, April is here. Nice, yeah. April, what's up, girl? So now that this is my business, Triton is a sponsor. They are awesome to me. They treat me super well. I love their machines. I was especially surprised by the thicknesser that I used for the first time in the last project. The finish is perfect. It's almost better than my hammer one, the other planer that I've been using before that. It doesn't leave any marks. You can't see any marks of the blades at all. Super happy with it. So that's it. The saw is great, and if you want to build your shop and you have a budget, get the Triton saw. If you want to spend 600 euros on a... sorry, I need some coffee. If you want to spend 600 euros on the track saw, then get the Festool one. It's a great machine. That's what I can say to that. I hope that helps for people who are deciding what to get. So 600 people now, that's awesome. What lav mic are you using? It's a Rode one. I only have the back. I don't know. It doesn't say. It doesn't say the name. I bought it in New York, and I think it was the cheapest one. So if you want to get that, yeah, I think that was it from the updates. You had a question, right? Yes.
Yeah, it was about the paint, but I think you already mentioned it, that it doesn't cover the grain, right?
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't cover you can see the grain shine through.
One question about the project is if there's any finish you would avoid so as not to damage the vinyl.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I mean, in hindsight, it's probably a good choice to use water-based stuff like the stain, and also the varnish that I used is water-based. Might be a good idea, but I think even if it's an alcohol-based stain, that evaporates over time. So I don't think that it will damage the vinyl at all. But honestly, I didn't even think about that. So good point. Are Triton reliable tools? I don't know yet because I just started working with them. But so far, I mentioned my concerns about the track saw. Well, concerns, it takes a bit longer to turn on, but so far I'm happy with it. But again, like a tool is a tool. You are the one who has to work with it. So I think every tool has their ins and outs, and you have to know about them and account for them, and then you will be fine. With a cheap drill, with a super expensive drill, it's more about you than it is about the tool, I think. Right on. So last week I mentioned that we should talk about tape, which is, besides markers, one of my favorite topics. And I get so many questions about the tape that I'm using in my videos. So I don't talk in my build videos. And then for some reason I came up with writing on tape as a way to communicate with you guys what kind of wood I'm using, or you know the video. So my favorite tape in the whole world is the console tape from ProGaff. I think in America this is called artist tape. And the thing about it is, well, what it's made for is for concerts or media events. If you have to mark a microphone, or you have your mixer and you need to mark something on that, you can stick this tape on it and write on it, and it's very, very sensitive. The glue is super sensitive. It comes off right away. It comes off without leaving a stain or leaving glue. And I think you can even peel it off 6 months later and it will be fine. It will not leave any glue on your expensive equipment. The thing is, the tape is quite thick and it's not structured like the regular painter's tape. And that's why, Lucy just posted the link so you can find it there. Did you? Right, huh?
Yeah,
so it's perfect for masking, but it's also a bit too expensive for masking. I think a roll, depending where you buy it, is between 7 and 10 euros. So that is a lot for if you want to use it for painter's tape and use 2 of these rolls to paint a room. It's not really worth it. But I think for my purposes, to communicate with you guys and to point things out, this is pretty much the perfect tape. I'm a huge fan of it. My second different tape is from the same company. And that's the one that I ruined last time. It's also from Pro Tapes and Specialties, it's called. And this one is Pro Gaff, and that's the regular gaffer's tape. It has fabric in it, and it's not shiny, it's matte, and it's super easy to tear, so that's a good thing. Also, these tapes don't leave any glue behind, even if you take it off after a couple months. That's the cool thing about it. It's a very high quality tape, also super expensive. But for the stuff that I use it for, 1 roll lasts me a super long time. It's often confused, like the whole gaffer tape and duct tape thing. Duct tape is the cheaper. It's still sometimes expensive, up to, I don't know, 10 euros a roll or 5 euros. I think this is quite cheap. It's plastic. It does have cloth in it. It's shiny, and it's like the quality is not that good. It is way harder to tear. See, there it happened again. Like, that's why I hate that stuff. Yeah, it's super hard to get it off clean, and it leaves glue behind. That's I hate that. So if you stick something to a machine or a tool or whatever and then forget about it and try to get it off a couple weeks later, you have this disgusting gooey stuff. I really don't like it. This is only good for festivals if you're drowning, or if the campground is drowning and you need to fix your tent. Maybe this, but what you best use for in this scenario is the military grade. We call it Panzer tape, which would mean tank tape. I'm not sure if that's the right translation. Does anybody know that? The gaffer tape that you use in the army. Yeah, we call it Panzer tape. And this stuff is absolutely incredible. It's super sticky, like very sticky. That's cloth tape, all right? It's very sticky, and what fascinates me the most about it is that it sticks underwater. So if you have, a swimming pool and there's a leak in it, you can actually take this roll underwater and fix it, which is, I don't know. I don't know how that works, but it's really cool. And this one is, it's from 3M, and it's very, very high quality. And even though it sticks so much, it even says here on the roll, you can remove it 6 months. It says 6-month clean removal from most opaque surfaces. Not sure what opaque means, but you will know. So that's that's good stuff. I never use it because I know how expensive it is. A friend gave it to me. Well, it's not actually Gorilla Tape. Somebody said Gorilla Tape. It's not Gorilla Tape. It's the army version of that. Okay, I can give you the number. So it's 3M, from 3M, and the number is 8979, in case you want to look it up. And the friend who gave me this also gave me this. I'm not even sure if this is like the part of the huge roll where they cut off the smaller ones, or if they actually make tape in that sizes. I wouldn't know what to fix with that, but I love this so much. When I went to San Francisco to meet Adam Savage, I actually thought about bringing that, but I couldn't. I wanted to keep it, so oops, sorry about the mic. That's how much I love it. I didn't even want to give it to Adam Savage, so it would stay in my shop. I would probably never use it, but the sheer weight of it, it's really cool. And maybe someday, in case we have a zombie apocalypse or something, you guys come to me. I have the huge roll of army tape. I will get us out of there. Right on. So that was it about the tape. Oh, we're almost out of time. Last time I had the comments that I should go a little bit longer. But to make a quick recommendation, I got this book. The guys who wrote the book, Lucy will post the link in the comments. Yes. They sent me 3 of those. And I haven't heard about it before. I had a pretty quick flip through it, and I think it is a really, really cool book especially if you want to get started with hardwood projects. As the title says, a practical guide to harvesting, choosing, reclaiming, preparing, crafting, and building with raw wood. And the pictures are beautiful. It's very high quality. I absolutely appreciate that. There are some quick projects in it that you can do with hardwood. There's also some tips how to get hardwood in your neighborhood or talk to the city, how to identify the woods, how to treat it, all that. I think it's a really cool book, especially because it's also well designed. Some books are very, very helpful and they have a lot of knowledge in them, but you don't even want to touch them because they're not well designed, and that stuff is super important for me. So yeah, I think this is a really cool book. If you see it lying around in a bookstore, check it out. If you are a Patreon supporter, because they sent me 3 and I only need 1, I will give 2 of them away. I will post about it tomorrow or later today. And then we will try to figure this whole giveaway thing out because I've never done that. Not sure how that works. But I have 2 books. If you're interested, watch out for the post. You can leave me a comment if you want to have it. And then I will figure out a way to pick 2 of my patrons. And I will ship you the book together with some new stickers and maybe some other swag. That was my recommendation of the week. I think now we should answer some questions maybe.
Yep.
All right, let's get Lucy in the picture. 650 people, nice.
Okay, you didn't have to point that out now. There were a few questions about the wood.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you use your plywood? Have you worked with foam ply? I don't know what that is. Yeah. But how do you choose it?
The plywood?
Yeah. Some questions about it.
I choose my plywood depending on how much money I have, I have to say. So, and also how fancy the project has to be. As I said, the plywood that I worked on now, do you remember how much the bill was? Because I bought 2 full sheets, and I think it was like 140 euros. So 70 euro for a sheet, which is 125 by 250 centimeters. I'm not telling the truth. I don't even know how big it is. Anyway, so it's 70 or 80 euros for a sheet of plywood. So it's super expensive. There is cheaper stuff. That's also the stuff that I built my workbenches with. So you can see that there are 7 layers of ply. It's a lot rougher than the quality furniture plywood. So this is maybe 30 euros a sheet. That's how I choose the plywood, basically on how much money I have for the project.
Can you turn on the sign?
Yeah.
Like
somebody.
Yeah.
Oh.
I want the sign on.
Sorry. Of course. Let me get it.
Yeah. Finally.
All right. I didn't know you liked the sign so much. I'm happy to hear that. Right on. Next question. Die Werkbank biegt sich aber etwas durch. No, it's not. Somebody mentioned that the workbench is bowed. No, it's actually not. That might
Maybe
look like it. Yeah, it must be the lens because this is a bit of a wide angle lens, so it's the lens.
There were a lot of questions about Maker Central next year.
Yes.
Actually.
Yeah,
but
cool.
Will you attend?
Yeah, I will be there. They reached out a couple weeks ago, and I will definitely be at Maker Central. As far as I know, we're having a big talk there with all the big guys. Like Jimmy's going to be there. Tanz der Affen, yeah. April is coming. Matt Cremona is coming. Triton will be there as well. So yeah, sorry. Maker Central. I'm there and I can't wait. It sounds like it's going to be a super big thing.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited. I'm super happy that this is in Europe. And I hope that we maybe even get a chance to, Lucy and I, get the chance to maybe invite some people over. Maybe I can have April visiting us again, or maybe Jimmy wants to swing by, or Jaco, I don't know. We will see, but it's cool that finally something big in Europe is happening. And I don't have to travel so far.
Make with Miles. Wants to know what inspired you. What was the first thing you built?
Okay.
And when did you start making?
All right, cool. Make with Miles, guys. Check him out. I'm a super big fan. I think he's at 200 something subscribers, and he deserves a lot more. If you want to see a super motivated young dude getting his channel off the ground, and be quick and subscribe now. Yeah. Because I'm very impressed with you, Miles, I have to say. I don't like to recommend channels because that gets you in the situation where you have to say no to a lot of people. But in this case, I really want to recommend your channel. You're doing an outstanding job. What was the question? What was my first project? The project, actually it's here. Hold on. The project that I consider my first oh my god, I'm tripping. Hold on. It's this guy. It's I bought this Batman thing at a flea market. Right on. And oh my god, it's a bit dusty. I bought him at a flea market, and for some reason I thought it would be awesome to have a speaker in there, and then the cable comes out at the back side, and he had, I don't know, he was probably holding a sword or something, and it perfectly fit this plug. And it just took like an X-Acto knife and a hot glue gun, but I don't think I was ever so proud in my life before I made this, and that really was, it was so satisfying, and that's what I consider my first makeup project, and that was maybe I want to say 10 years ago. Yeah, and I still like him. Somebody pressed in the speaker though, so it sounds it always sounded horrible, to be honest, but now it sounds even worse. But yeah, that was my first project. Great question. One more?
Yeah. Well, Chris wants to know when the next meetup will be. I think that's the Maker Fair, right?
Yeah, the next meetup is at the in Hanover, the Maker Fair. And that is, I don't have my calendar with me.
I think it's 23rd to 25th of August.
Yeah, it's definitely this month, and it's very soon. And a lot of makers are going to be there. I still don't have the list, I'm sorry. I'm not prepared, but I know that Jacko Whatever is coming, Cactus Workshop is coming, Christiana from Get Hands Dirty will be there.
The Red Smith?
The Red Smith?
Maybe.
Oh, Jacko says it's 26th and 27th. Okay. Yeah,
thanks.
Cool. So I will definitely, the week before the fair, I will be driving through Germany with Triton, and we want to make some videos in my shop and also maybe visit some other people. So our tour will end Saturday at the Maker Fair, and I will stay until Sunday. And I think it might look like we're going to have a couple beers and maybe a pizza after the Maker Fair. So, but I will let you know about that. So if you're at the Maker Fair, definitely come and say hi. I will have some stickers with me to give out for free. I think we should wrap it up. I don't want to always say one more super interesting, like that's interesting or important to answer now. Something crazy, wooden lamp. Oh yeah, I don't sell anything that I built. The thing is, especially to answer that, somebody asked if he could buy the wooden lamp that I built. The thing is, especially with electrical stuff, it is very, very, very difficult to sell that kind of stuff in Germany if you're not a master like an electrician master. So I don't want to get myself into trouble. Same thing goes for furniture building and for metal working. It's very restricted, and you can get into a lot of trouble if you build something and somebody gets hurt. You know, if I mess up the cables and some house burns down, it's basically my fault. So that's why I don't sell my stuff. That's why I'm so happy that I'm on YouTube and that I can make my living here and not have to depend on all these restrictions that we have. That's why I never sell anything. I'm super sorry, but yep. But that's why I make the videos, so you can learn to make these things yourself. All right. Oh, I want to say one more thing to my Patreons. I'm so sorry that I haven't uploaded a sketch in a while. For some reason, the last weeks have been... Oh, somebody asked for the tattoo. Yeah, I will show you that. I should have said that at the beginning. At the end of the live stream, I will show you my new tattoo. I will show you the tattoo in a second. But first, I want to apologize to my Patreons. I haven't uploaded a sketch in quite a while. I don't know. There's just so much going on that I don't have the time to really sit down and enjoy sketching. So it became kind of a task. I'm sure I will be back on track once things slow down. And I will try to make a quick sketch about the measurements from the record player cabinet, from the record storage box, because there are some measurements that I could share with you. Yeah, but I'm super sorry about that. And now let's see about my new tattoo. I think we shared the link of... Maybe I should move the phone and not me. Can you see it? I'm not sure if you can see it. There is some stuff over it. It's called second skin, and that is to prevent dust from getting in. I hope that doesn't look as ridiculous as I think. But this is my new tattoo. It's basically like a dragon hellmouth thing, and inside of his mouth is this lady with the weird teeth. Oop. Yeah, that's it. That's the new tattoo. I'm very happy. It was, I have to say, because I have my shins tattooed, and I thought that's probably like the worst part of the leg. No, it's not. The calf is definitely worth. I didn't see that coming, but it was nice. And yeah, Philip Lem is the tattooer who did that, and he is awesome. It's a super cool original design. I didn't have anything to do with the design. It was one of his one-off tattoos. So he has a big collection of things that he would like to tattoo, and you can make an appointment with him and then choose a tattoo. And once that is taken, nobody else can have it. And it took about 4.5 hours to get it done. Yeah, worst part of the leg, try moving higher. Well, yeah, I'm not sure if the back side of the leg higher is more. I would imagine that to be even more painful than the calf. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. We just got in this live stream because I have my email notifications on. 3 new Patreons. Thank you guys so much. That is awesome. As far as I could tell, you all pledging $5. That means I will send you, or Lucy, she's the Patreon boss. She will send you stickers and one more with 4. She will send you stickers and the patch. Cool. I will see you next week, right? Next week. Say hi, say bye to Lucy.
Hi, everybody.
Hi and bye to Lucy. And I will see you next week. I hope we have a better situation with the link. Anyways, enjoy your Sunday. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye-bye.